Hi, welcome to Fast Company's 29th floor. I'm Noah Robischon here with Mark Wilson. Today we're talking about the Apple Watch, which, as everybody knows, is supposed to transform the way we tell time and do many other things with our wrist. It is also actually supposed to upend the entire watch market and create whole new categories of glanceability that we haven't even invented yet. Mark, how's that all working out for Apple?
I mean, according to third-party analyst Slice Intelligence, not well. A new report that just came out said that the watch sales are down 90% since launch.
Well, wait a second, 90%, but I mean, you had this big influx of super fans who all lined up, right?
Their estimates put it around 10 to 20,000 watches selling per day, which if you do out the math, you're talking about, I think, under 10 million watches selling a year. Like the iPhone sold 100 million units in 3 years, the iPad sold 100 million units in 2 years. You would think that, Apple would be speeding up or at least matching its old pace.
I get what you're saying, but they could easily cut the cost of the watch and start selling those things like hotcakes.
I think the Apple Watch's biggest problem is actually a design problem, and it's a design problem that's happening in a few different ways. One, I don't think that it's that easy to use. Like, most people I talk to are pretty confused by it. Even tech reviewers when it launched were confused by it, right? So I think that's one problem. I think the other problem is a fashion problem. I never liked how the Apple Watch looked, I'll admit it. I don't know. Does somebody want to wear the same watch every day? I don't think Apple's still proven that out.
First of all, this is a version 1.0 product. They've just recently opened the platform to third-party developers. I think you're really going to see a lot of interesting apps for the watch that are going to come out. We just don't have them quite yet. The other thing I would say is, from a fashion perspective, that the band that actually is sort of the metallic band with the magnetic clasp on it, I think that looks awesome. That's the kind of watch band that I've always wanted, actually. So I think they're just getting started in terms of the face design.
To me, the fashion problem isn't just, does this one band look good? Does this two bands look good? Like, can I switch out the band from time to time? I think the bigger problem is that Apple doesn't realize that fashion is moving a lot faster than it used to. When you look at companies like H&M or Zara, these companies aren't planning their lines 2 years in advance anymore. And so in this climate, I just don't know if a $500 device that you wear every day is something that can last you 2 years. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think we have to revisit this over time as Apple actually starts to announce some sales figures during quarterly earnings reports, although apparently they're not going to announce the sales figures for the watch.
This is actually before the launch, which to me was a perfect bad sign. I'm just going to keep looking at your wrist, Noah, and see whether or not you put one on.
Hey now. That's not fair. So what do you think? Is the Apple Watch a failure, or is it a slow building hit? We want to know. #29th floor on Twitter. Mark and I are there to answer your questions. Thanks. See you next week.